Hi, I am on page 341, and I will be covering one-step addition equations. You can write equations to represent many real-world problems involving addition. Select each card to see the steps for writing an equation to represent a real-world problem. So for words, they describe the mathematics of the problem. Use only the most important words in the problem. Variables, define a variable to represent the unknown quantity. An equation, translate the words into an algebraic equation. Describing the quantity that a variable represents and selecting a letter to represent the unknown quantity is called defining the variable. I'm on page 342 in the textbook.
In a recent Summer Olympics, the United States won 23 more medals in swimming than Australia did. The United States won a total of 33 swimming medals. You are asked to write an equation that could be used to determine the number of medals won by Australia. To write an equation for the problem, start by describing the situation. Identify any key words and numbers. You know that the United States won 23 more medals than Australia did. You also know that the United States won 33 medals in all. Next, use the key information to model the problem with words. The United States won 23 more medals than Australia did. Finding 23 more than a number involves adding 23. So, 23 plus the number of medals Australia won is equal to the number of medals the United States won. Now define a variable to represent the unknown number. Let the variable m represent the number of medals won by Australia. Finally, use the word model to write an equation. The United States won 23 more medals than Australia did. The number of medals Australia won is represented by the variable m. The total number of US medals is 33. So, an equation that models the situation is 23 plus m equals 33.
All right, on page 342, I am on example 1, write addition equations. All right. Together, Ruben and Tarek downloaded 245.5 megabytes of music. Ruben downloaded 132 megabytes of that total music. Write an addition equation that can be used to find how many megabytes of music Tarek downloaded. Describe the mathematics of the problem. Ruben and Tarek downloaded a total of 245.5 megabytes of music. Of that total, Ruben downloaded 132 megabytes. The second step is to define the variable. We're going to let m represent the megabytes that Tarek downloaded. So now we can write our equation. Ruben downloaded 132. We do not know how many Tarek downloaded, so that will be m. But we know when we add them together, they had a combined total of 245.5. Okay. Let's go ahead and try check on page 343. Okay. It says together, Zechariah and Paz have $756.80. If Zechariah has $489.50, how much does Paz have? Write an addition equation that can be used to find the amount of money that belongs to Paz. So Zechariah has $489.50 plus, we'll use P for Paz, and they have a combined amount of $756.80. Explore one-step addition equations. So in your online textbook, they have this cool feature where you can balance an equation. So let's play around with this. I'll do one example. And if you like this, you can get on your online textbook and play around with it. An equation is like a balance. The balance point represents the equal sign, and the tray represents each side of the equation. Drag an X weight onto one side of the balance and observe what happens to the balance. Use the one weights to balance the two sides. So when I scroll on down, the directions told me to put an X on one side of the balance. So I notice that the left side of the balance goes down. And then it said drag ones on the other side to see what happens. I wanted to see this balance out. So 1 doesn't balance it. 2 doesn't balance it. Ooh, 3 does. So that means this variable X is equal to 3. So if I scroll back up and say, it says how much does X weight weigh? I believe it's 3, and that is correct. Yay! So they have more examples in there. So if you guys go to your online textbooks, you can play around with that. I am on page 344.
Use algebra tiles to solve one-step addition equations. Find the value of x for the equation x plus 4 equals 7. Model the equation using algebra tiles. Place one x tile and 4 1 tiles on the left side of the mat. Place 7 1 tiles on the right side of the mat. To isolate the variable, or the x tiles, remove the same number of 1 tiles from each side of the mat until the x tile is by itself. There are 3 1 tiles remaining on the right side. So, x equals 3. Let's try another example. Find the value of x for the equation 3 plus x equals 8. To model the equation, place 3 1 tiles and 1 x tile on the left side of the mat. Next, place 8 1 tiles on the right side of the mat. To isolate the variable, or the x tiles, remove the same number of 1 tiles from each side of the mat until the x tile is by itself. There are 5 1 tiles remaining on the right side, so x equals 5.
All right. Once again, I am now on page 345. Okay, 345. Solve 8 equals x plus 3 and check your solution. Method 1, you can use a model. So here they place 8 tiles on the left, and it's equal to x plus 3. So we have 3 tiles on the right. Step 2, it says remove 3 tiles from each side and see how many you have left. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So x equals 5, which makes sense. If this equals 5, 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. Method 2, use the subtraction property of equality. So our goal is to get x by itself. We have a plus 3 here. So to get x by itself, you're going to do the opposite of plus, and you're going to subtract. So minus 3, so this goes away. And you would subtract 3 over here. 8 minus 3 is 5. All right. And then you can also use the bar diagram. The total, we have 8 and we have x and 3. The total length of the bar represents 8, which represents the value of the equation. What is the value of x? So what number plus 3 is 8? And we know that is 5. Okay. We are on page 346 where it says check. So we have 570 equals 33 plus x. I'm going to go ahead and use method 2, which was use the subtraction property of equality. Okay. So I want to get x by itself. So I have 570 equals 33 plus x. I want to get x by itself. So I have this positive 33 here. I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to subtract 33. Think of that balance. What you do to one side, we have to do the other side. Okay, so this goes away. So over here, I'm going to subtract 33. Okay, I have to borrow. 10 minus 3 is 7. 6 minus 3 is 3. And bring down the 5. My answer is 537 equals x. All right. I'm now on example 3. They already solved that one for us, which is lovely. It says solve 3/4 plus m equals 7.5. So to get m by itself, they subtracted 3 3/4 from both sides, and their answer was 3 3/4. Okay. You can also check it. So if you plug it back in for the variable, you'll see that it does work out. Okay. Somewhere